Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me this morning. I know that it's like cold and rainy, definitely not the weather I anticipated coming from New York. So I appreciate you coming out. My name is Lacroix, and today I'll be talking about creating and building inclusive communities within the NFT space. So today I'm going to talk about the importance of inclusion, ways creators and collectors can support, and actually tools for success. So I know that a lot of places, I've been here since yesterday, talk about, ways to DYOR, and you hear it constantly on Twitter or Clubhouse of how to find the communities that work for you. So I do have some pretty tactical tools here for success. So before I start, a little about me. I've spent the last 10 years in digital media transformation. So what does that mean? I worked on digital strategy teams, analytics, and research, leading high growth and engagement businesses. Recently, I've worked at Disney on the news side, helping to find their audiences with streaming services, as well as Viacom at BET, find their digital audience. And at Condé Nast, moving from publishing to digital. So I am also not subject to FOMO, 95% confidence interval. And I am also a collector. So at the beginning of last year, I started my NFT journey and started to do a lot of research into communities that would support women of color, LGBTQIA, and also interested in families. So what got me into this journey was my niece actually was interested in NFTs. And so I started to look at things that she would like, things that represented her, and also started to think about down the road, if I decide to gift her these, would she be able to kind of carry the torch in terms of being a part of the community, feeling like her voice was being heard. So what we know now is that diverse perspectives lead to innovation and creativity. We also know that different points of views solve problems faster. And when you're happy with your community, you often share, especially with social media. You're on Instagram, you post, you tag, you create hashtags. So what we do also know in Web3 is that currently less than 20% of women are in Web3. So this is across blockchain, crypto, and NFTs. And as of last month, our tactic report had it at under 16% of women actually owned NFTs. So we have a long way to go, but we're actually still very early. So when I talk about inclusion and facets of representation, often we think about demographics, so gender, race, sex, ethnicity, accessibility. And then you get into interests, so food, music, movies, and you start to share those interests with your communities. And then you go to experiences. So if you're getting engaged, dating, you have parenting, or you want to travel. So I know a lot of you are possibly here because you are with your NFT community or you seek NFT community, and you're here in Lisbon. So by a show of hands, how many people here are creators? Okay. And how many people are collectors? Oh, wow. Okay, great. And how many people are still deciding what they're going to do and what is an NFT? Okay, this is good. Great audience. So I have two paths here, one for creators and the other for collectors. So when we think about the creator's path, I know it's hard, but listening to feedback. So when you are in a Discord channel, there's often, people who go to suggestions. And from the suggestions, then you break out and you actually create these sub-channels. And I'm just using Discord just for general sense. But when you listen to your holders' feedback, you often want to do surveys or just try to get the temperature around, what people are looking for and how you can better support them. And then you're turning that feedback into action. I'm a very data-driven person, so taking a look to see what you can do to help further and make your holders a bit comfortable, feeling representative, and then also empowering change. So creating that space in the community. As I mentioned, the sub-channels, but also supporting metaverse meetups and also real-life meetups. So for the collectors, when you say, okay, I'm looking for a solution, Twitter often says DYOR, do your own research, which actually is not easy. It's easier said than done. So for collectors, there's a free set of tools. There's a ton, but often I defer to these. So for Dune Analytics, which is supported on ETH and Sol, looking at reporting. So there's DIY dashboards that you can build, or there's other folks that have created queries. And what I also like to look at is a holder overlap report. So if you like World of Women, for example, and you wanted to see what other collections those holders have, there are a couple of tools with which you can input the Ethereum address and find out what other NFTs collections people hold. For NFT.go, that supports Ethereum, Solana, and Matic Polygon chain. And you can look at collection history, pricing, and trends, which is always great to see, where the movement is going, what is doing well in terms of volume. And then for upcoming NFTs, also supports the same chains. There's Discord and Twitter user trends, as well as the project descriptions, and drop information, and actually free drop information as well. So when it comes to communities, we often, discount the fact that it can be economically challenging for people to get into some of the merging NFT collections. So here I have just an example of some NFT collections pricing from 0.5 to over 5 that have really strong communities. The ones with the crowns are actually women-led. And the ones, just for complete transparency, the ones with asterisks are the ones that actually I participate in. But there's Astrophysids. I'm sorry, I always mess up the name, but it's a very, very low price point. There's Ape Gang, which I'm a part of, and they're here today. And the ranges actually are from the last 90 days. Really great community. Under one, the Dower Darcells and Atom Bomb Squad on the ETH chain, they're actually Web 2 properties and brands that are coming to Web 3. And then with over 1 ETH, Boss Beauties, which is doing, Elisa Mayer is doing amazing in the community. The utility there is helping to support and mentor young women. They've also done a lot of really great partnerships. Deadfellas is owned or created by Betty, who does a really great job of advocating for a really great community. And over 5, obviously, World of Women is a huge standout. And on the Solana chain, which really doesn't get as much love as it should, there's the Elementees starting at 0.5 as a P2E gaming NFT. Coinboy, it has a range of 0.25 to 2. It's customizable PFP, so they'll be launching different customizable packages around certain events. Engelmann is a really great art and fashion culture collectible. And Auri, so it's a P2E gaming, has a ton of different diverse traits and a really great, strong community. And that wraps my presentation. Thank you very much. And for being here, you can download the POAP app and get your POAP. So Go to your phone, download, select Mint, and the secret word is my name, Lacroix, and you will get a POAP for attending. Thank you so much for coming out. Are there any questions? Yes. Thank you for that question, Maureen. So the question is, how do media companies, brands get into Web3? So there are a number of different ways. The way that I imagine it is incentivizing users. So if you have a special event, you have an NFT around it, or you have a voting mechanism for different events, you can challenge people, or you can create a game around it. So gamification is great. Getting that share of voice from your audience and understanding what they would like, and then acting on it. So making it special, making it a collectible. Often a lot of communities are here because there is that element of rarity, and you want to have a collectible. You want to say that you were here, you were there at this point, at this moment in time. So it's a really great memento. You know, we have T-shirts, we have physical goods, but now, you know, in Web3, you can have an NFT to commemorate your experience.
Wonderful,
thank you. All right, thank you very much.